and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. My name is Intuitive Titi, short for Titi Leo, and I'm so glad that you are joining me today. Today's Pick a Card reading is about getting to the life that you've always imagined for yourself, getting to the life that you've always wanted. So we have 4 decks, 4 piles, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm gonna go ahead and put crystals next to each of these piles. And you can pick, if it's helpful, to know which pile you should go to. So some people like to use crystals, some people don't. Essentially, it's just to help you to make a decision. So again, today's reading is about getting to the life you've always dreamed of. So I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just listen to me speak. Inhale in, exhale. One more time, inhale in, exhale. I want you to feel in the pit of your stomach the most joyous, the most highest energy, the most pleasant vibration that you can possibly come up with at this moment. Thinking about if you had everything in your wildest dreams, not what's possible, not what's practical, but everything in your wildest dreams. Think about how good it would feel, how peaceful it would be, how happy you'd be. Take a moment. Think about the feeling. Don't think about circumstances. So don't think about what you're doing or how you got there. Just think about the feeling of just loving your life and what that must feel like. One more breath. All right, slowly open your eyes and let's get started. Each pile will be time-stamped in the description and in the comments below. You're going to pick either pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, or pile 4. If you like this reading, please like and subscribe. I am still new to this on my YouTube channel, and I'm very excited to read for you today. I'm going to be reading based on both traditional readings and also my intuition today. So again, I look forward to sharing more with you. See you soon. Hello, pile number 1. Today's reading is all about getting to the life you've always dreamed about. So I've picked 10 cards here. And we're gonna jump right into it. So we have the Page of Wands, the 4 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands, so already 2 4s, Death, the Tower, Queen of Swords, Knight of Wands, Page of Swords, and 2 of Cups. So a little bit of every category in every group. So let's get right into it. So right now, mainly what I see as I'm looking at each of these cards is I see you're in a current place that is not necessarily bad. You probably are doing okay by all regular and standard means, but there's more, right? There's more. You want more, and more doesn't necessarily mean or different. So it doesn't necessarily have to be more, but you want something that's different. That maybe builds on what you currently have. It's not just about getting out of your current situation. Your current situation it's not that bad, but it could be better, and you want more or something different. There are just a few things missing, and you can definitely get to them. I think part of what's causing some frustration with getting to that dream life that you have is, you're not really taking good care of yourself. You could be totally satisfied and happy and content in your life, but you're not taking really good care of yourself. You're overthinking a lot of things. You're not eating well. You're not sleeping. And you're experiencing a lot of pains and aches that you yourself are causing you. So these are not necessarily coming from external forces, but it's really all within you. And so you really got to take better care of yourself. The 3 of Pentacles here is just showing me that, in the past, you have thought a lot about what your life should look like according to like society standards. You have to draw a blueprint and you have to make a plan, and you have done that, and it satisfies everyone, your parents, your spouse or significant other, your friends, etc. All of it is in alignment with what was expected of you, and your plans, played out well, everything that you wanted. So maybe, you were supposed to learn a skill or get a certain set of knowledge so that you could get a certain career or a certain job, and you've done that. So you've learned what you needed to learn to do that. You're following that blueprint. And so now you'll really need to get ready to step off the blueprint to really get ultimately to where you want to be. So it's going to be a little bit different from how you were expecting life to go. And really, to get there, you have to free yourself. The good news is that right now, your biggest obstacle is you. And so you can master yourself. It's not like there's some other forces or circumstances that seem to be really at play. And once you do that, you will be feeling pretty good. You will have more of what you've wanted. It'll be a feeling of contentment and joy. And you'll also find community and partnership in following that dream of everything you've always wanted. So I have a feeling that you have some notion of what you need to do to get there. And that you've got your foundation laid, you've got the basics covered. But there's just a little bit more that's not according to plan, that maybe doesn't align so much with this plan. And I'm not saying that you necessarily have to deviate from your plan, but it's adding to it. So adding that difference that's not a part of the plan, just going for it. And instead of making yourself sick by ignoring it, by not feeding it, not fueling that thing that it is that you need, you're only hurting yourself, because it's in the back of your head and it's nagging you. Nagging. Then you have death here. And really, part of what I'm seeing is that you seem ready to end this particular phase of life. That you want to walk into everything that you've always dreamed of, right? So everything that you've been told about how your life should go is one thing. And you have that and things are okay, but deep down, it could be better, and you're ready to end this current phase that you're in, and you're ready to move on. And that what's on the other side of moving on is going to be really great for you. And you have the Tower, and the Tower really talks about, how you're feeling internally, mentally, and just all of your emotions and the kinds of behavior that you're engaging in. And right now, it looks like you are on fire. Right now, it looks like you are tormenting yourself. You're kind of going back and forth. You have this really bad space internally. And so you've got to address this, because you are slowly harming yourself. Overthinking things, or engaging in behaviors or thought patterns that are unhealthy, that are negative, that's not affirming to you. All of those things are super unhelpful, and they are hurting you. It's not, these kind of innocent thoughts and patterns and emotions. These are things that are actually hurting you. And so, right now you are experiencing and feeling a lot, despite everything having gone to plan. You're experiencing a lot, and you definitely want to acknowledge that this kind of storm of emotions. And while your foundation is strong, you inside, it feels like parts of you are dying or falling off, and it's sad. And you really, I imagine you are trying to get to a state of peace, and you'll have that peace by, living your life the way you've planned, and you know what it is that you actually want. Again, it's not that you don't know, but it's off of your plan. It's off of the way that people expect you to live your life. And so you really have to go for it. Then we have the Queen of Swords, that really, is talking about a need to stay calm, sit down, get grounded, get rooted, and use everything that you have. You are, again, in a position of privilege. You follow the plans, and that has in some ways given you the resources, the tools, the outlook, the insight to do whatever it is that you need to do. You have all the tools. You are already in some ways intuitive and open and listening, okay? And you have a good sight of what's to come, what's already happened. It's not as though you're unaware where you're at in life. You are very aware and in tune, okay? And you can resolve to live the way that you want to live. There's a thing that you all know you already want, and to get this thing, it doesn't even require like $1 million. It doesn't require the types of things that sometimes are a lot harder to get to, right? We're not talking about institutional structures. We're not talking about, things that can't be changed, etc. We're really talking about an attitude adjustment here, and really opening your eyes to realize that everything that you need to get what you want, you have access to, and you can command and control it. So take control, sit down, take scope of what resources are available to you, of what people, of what community, of what you know about what it is that you ultimately want and hope for, okay? Then we have the Knight of Wands, and really you not only should you sit and think about what all the resources and things that you have to help you get to your dream life, you've also got community. You have people who will go and fight with you. You have people who will help you get there. You have people, or at least a person, who will listen and who will help you blaze the pathway, help you find a way. And this is really important. These cards, looking at each other, and thinking about like what it is that you should be doing, to eliminate these internal feelings and, kind of the anguish and pain you're giving yourself, and, not wanting to just stick to this plan. Like, you've accomplished the plan has been done. Maybe before the plan took a whole lifetime, maybe you accomplished it in 2 years. Maybe it did take a whole lifetime, but guess what? There's still 15, 10, 5, 20 years left, and you want to do something different. You have earned that, you have done that. And there's at least one person who will ride with you, and you should really think about talking with that person, seeking that person out if you don't already know who that is. Then you have the hopes and fears, and really your biggest hope and fear, your biggest hope is actually getting what you want, and your biggest fear is not doing anything to actually do it. So to get to the life you've always dreamed of, it requires action on your part. And again, for the most part, it's all internal action. It's all internal action. So you've got to be able to find it within yourself, to see with clarity, to act with clarity, to give yourself peace, to release yourself from a lot of anguish. There seems to be some doubt that you can do this, but really it's an attitude adjustment. So perhaps some affirmations, every single day, write down what it is that you want, whether or not you believe it, write down what it takes to get there, and then maybe just rewrite it as a statement saying, I have this thing, every single day, till it's in your brain pattern that this can happen for you, that this is happening for you, and you are making it happen. It's all in you. It's all in you, and you can do it. You can do this. And then we have the Two of Cups, which shows that at the end of the day, it's all going to be worth it. Everything that you've built to this point will still be around. You're not going to lose it. You'll still have that tower in the back, but the tower is healed, right? It's not on fire anymore. It's healed, and it's still solid. It's solid even here. It's solid even here. But here, all of the outcomes, all of the areas around the tower is no longer, or around this lighthouse, is no longer these kind of sharp shreds and edges, right? That you see, people falling into, but it's surrounded by greenery, and it's off in a distance. But here, if you do this, you will be rewarded. So you are closer to the ideal life that you want. You're much closer than you think. And the biggest challenge that you have to work on, and the best thing about this challenge, is that it's in your capacity to do it. You can decide today. You can decide to do it tomorrow. You can decide to do it in a week. It's in you to do it. Okay, so finally, I'm gonna pull some cards. This is from the 4 agreements, and I'm just going to pull 2 cards for things that you should be thinking about, and that will complete your reading for today. I'll get these nice and shuffled till they feel right. Okay, I got you cards. Okay, so the 2 cards you got were this first card, and the first agreement, I'm going to hold this up so you can see it, is don't take anything personally. Be immune to others' opinions. Okay, this seems really important. Okay, be immune to other people's opinions. Don't allow them to get to you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So a lot of suffering between these 2 cards that really represent your emotional state and the challenges that you're facing, right? And that, again, you can really move out of these states here. And yeah, so follow what this card is saying. And then the next card is don't make assumptions. Discern the truth. And discern basically means just to pull out the truth or be in tune with the truth, being able to see what's true and what's false. And again, I'm seeing a lot of this energy from this 4 of Swords and the Tower, and especially the Queen of Swords too. And again, there's someone who's going to ride with you. I see a lot of that here. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, then we react by sending emotional poison with our word. This creates a whole big drama for nothing. So I hope that you enjoyed today's reading. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. And if this reading resonated with you, let me know. If there's something more that you wish you knew, let me know. If there are other questions that you want me to answer in another pick a card reading, also let me know. Thanks so much, everyone. So welcome back, pile number 2, to your pick a card reading. And today I'm going to be reading Getting the Life That You've Always Dreamed of, getting to that life, okay? So I went ahead and picked 10 cards. Sit back, take a deep breath, and prepare just to hear the message that I have for you today. If you like this reading, please comment, like, and subscribe, and also let me know what other types of readings you want down below. So with that said, let's get right into it. So I pulled 10 cards, and just look at this first card, we have the Chariot. So what this card tells me is that for the most part, you have your life together. You're very much in control, you're balanced, you know your talents, you know your areas that you need to grow. You're able to pull off what it is that you want. You're pretty determined, and you do it. You do it well. You've got that balance in terms of understanding what it takes and also taking care of yourself. You're very ambitious and motivated. And you've got your gear on to protect you, right? You've got your protective wear on. You're not very soft. You know that, struggles will come, and you are fully prepared to engage them. You've worked really hard all of your life, and you're ready to really do anything. Then you have the Queen of Wands, and really what's interesting about this Queen of Wands is that it's much softer than this Chariot depiction. And what I'm picking up with Queens of Wands is this kind of softness, this kind of femininity, and love and growth and nurturing, okay? This doesn't mean that you don't have this per se. It doesn't mean that you have an abundance of this. This is just coming up as something that, seems to be a challenge for you. Is that maybe you're not surrounded a lot by, the life around you. It could be nature, it's even looking at these two cards. One's kind of like in the city, and this one you see flowers and mountains, and she's clearly outside. And so in this picture, we see like a lot of life and a lot of energy. You have someone who's taking on the world. She's sitting on her throne. I'm sorry, this person is sitting on their throne, and they're able to grow lots of flowers, and they're holding this wand with this greenery on the end, which I always see as a good and positive sign anytime that I see a wand. And yeah, part of what I see with this card, as it contradicts a bit the Chariot. Sorry about that and all the noise. Give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. What I see is really a contrast, and this I feel certain that you are grounded, you are ready, and you have been doing it and doing it well. But I see that a big challenge for you is just, having lots of energy, being able to grow more, being able to develop with love, maybe grace, etc. So this is a challenge to this Chariot card. And then we have the Five of Cups, which represents how things have been in the past. And so, in the past, there might have been like a lot of sadness, maybe feeling like you were defeated, like you were unable to fill up your cups. Everything that you tried to accumulate and to hold on to, just somehow managed to continue to spill out. You couldn't find stable ground to set your achievements on. And so in the past, things were really difficult and really trying. And it might have been really sad, right? It might have been really sad, and you might have felt lost, like you don't know what is the right thing to do. Like you've tried so many things and just repeatedly it's not working. You're not able to hold on to anything. But really, that was in the past. Your present situation tells me that you've got it figured out. At this point, you've got it figured out. You know about the balances. You know about how these things are supposed to work. And you're doing much better now. So that's really good for you. Then we have the Six of Swords. So things are going really well right now, but soon things might get a little bit difficult. So there is some connection between these two cards. You're not going to go back. This challenge that's coming up and this big decision you're going to have to make, navigating these waters, figuring out what's the right choice to make and where you should go and what you should do. It won't be like your past, okay? This is a different set of challenges and choices. It's not going to be like it was before, so don't even think that. This is going to be just making really difficult decisions. You might not have all the information to make the best decision. So if you're used to having, all the possible outcomes, weighing all the pros and cons, etc. In this case, when this opportunity comes up or when this pathway comes up, it won't be as clear. It won't be as clear, and you'll have to make a really difficult choice. And it might feel that it's impossible because you don't have all those clues that you're used to getting. And you might just kind of sit with your wheels spinning and turning, but it is possible, okay? So don't feel like it's an impossible choice. You can definitely navigate these rough waters and find the best path to move forward. You can definitely do that, okay? And you're really gonna rely on these balance and this ability to kind of take on the world as you see it, and to make it work and to use your resources and stay balanced. But again, you want to watch out for this need to kind of nurture and love on yourself, because while you have a lot of ambition and balance in some places, the area that it's not so apparent is definitely in terms of how you're thinking about life, maybe even the creation of life, or just sustaining life and giving energy. Then we have the Empress over here. And the Empress really represents your goals and aspirations. Like, what is it that you want in life? So again, this reading is all about getting to the life that you dreamed of. And so far, we see that you're definitely on the path to getting there. You've had some darker days, in a really good place now, and a really hard decision is coming up soon. But another thing that you really want to pay attention to is this Empress card. And the Empress represents love and confidence and passion and, you know, just really enjoying life. And it represents emotion, and it actually speaks really well to this Queen of Wands in terms of thinking about like nurturing life and growth. You really want to feel a certain passion and love, and this is really like a feeling that encompasses like your whole life. So it's not just one particular thing, right? You might be, you know, pretty well off where you are right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you already have all the love and the passion and the emotion and just kind of like those, again, more feminine parts of life. And when I say feminine, I'm not strictly speaking to like feminine and masculine in a sense of gender terms, but like the feminine and masculine aspects of life, okay? Then you have the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups represents, again, confidence, and, you know, your tone, knowing where to go, what to look for, moving forward, and really feeling like you are able to navigate, which is so interesting to have this Knight of Cups and this Six of Swords. And so I think one of the things that this represents is, at the end of the day, despite feeling a little bit like you're not sure where to go, you have it in you. You have what it takes. You will have to really lean into your intuition and pick the path that you know works. And you have to be honest about these things that you have been missing or have wanted in your life. And, you know, you don't want to be guided by your past. You are going to be fine. This upcoming situation that helps you get to the life that you've always dreamed of, it's going to be difficult, or a set of difficult choices, or a choice, but you have it in you to make it work. You have it in you. And so one of the things that you want to think about in terms of, okay, so how do I get to this life that I've always dreamed of? What does it look like? This Hermit card, okay, I used to get this card a lot, okay, like almost in every single reading for the ones I did myself. And I know Hermit well. And what Hermit basically means is that you need to spend some time with yourself and being able to hear yourself. And so that might sound like, oh, just follow your heart, listen to your intuition, etc. But really, sometimes in order to hear yourself, to hear your own thoughts, to hear what you want, to be able to meditate on them, to be able to think about them, you also need to close off social media. You need to close the computers, turn off the phones, etc. Sometimes it is sitting down and meditating, whether that is, you know, looking at a candle to meditate, whether that's just closing your eyes to meditate. There's a lot of different ways to meditate, and so don't get caught up in the one way that you think you're supposed to. Give me 1 second. Hey, sit down. Sit. Sit down. So don't get caught up in there just being one way to meditate. There are a lot of different ways to do it, and you really need to spend time with yourself, okay? Block out all the noise. If you need something happening around you and you're used to it being social media or television or something to that effect, try music instead. Try music instead. And I would even say try music without words, okay? So you've got the Hermit here that represents solitude, and it represents, you know, focusing on yourself and being alone. And so I don't think this means being alone physically in the sense that you can't be around people, but really alone with your own thoughts, alone with your own energy, your own body. And again, I've gotten this card so many times. I find it to be one of the most frustrating cards, but that's for another day. Then you have the Knight of Swords, and you see this person who's gallivanting, you know, they're in full swing, and this represents the community or external influences in your life right now. And so you have a whole squad of people, whether they be actual people that you know, or your spirit guides, or the universe, or God, whatever divinity you believe in. There are forces that are with you on this, both in real life and ones that you might not be able to see yet, and then ones that you might only feel, like your ancestors, etc. You have a full force of people that are with you, who are confident in your ability to get to the life that you've always dreamed of. You can get there. This definitely tells me, and I don't actually get the feeling that this is about, people who are directly in your community, like people that you can see, but rather the spiritual team that is backing you, that you cannot see. And so take some pleasure in knowing that there are so many forces that are with you, that want you to win, that want you to get to this dream life. This dream life is yours for the taking. It's really just navigating this path in order to get there. So a little bit of insight on this Four of Pentacles here tells me a little bit about really this need of wanting to keep the balance. And so you've successfully done that, but as you move forward, you are going to want to hold on to this balance. You want to be safe, and you also want to be able to relax and do all the things that make you happy. So you want to feel secure, you want to feel stable, you want to feel, warm and seated in your new place in life. This is a big hope that you have, but also a big fear that you have, that in this life choice, in this decision that you're making, in the pursuit of the life you've always dreamed of, that you will have to give up stability, and that you will have to give up your coin. Right now, like I said, things are so comfortable, things are so good, and you definitely don't want to give any of that up, and you hope that you can maintain that with you. So perhaps the dream life that you've always wanted, and requires some risk, and so this last card tells you whether or not that risk is going to be worth it. This is your outcome card, okay? This card tells you what will happen as a result of going after your dream life. And really, you are already on the pathway to getting your dream life. So it's not as though you're like just kind of starting off. You are like slowly and surely, you're making your way through. You're making your way there. So you are just not quite there yet, but you will be soon. So this is your outcome card. It's an Ace of Pentacles. And really, this is full of possibility. This is a great card to have. This means so much. It means like an abundance of money, an abundance of livelihood. It just means if you stay on this pathway, things will come to you. Good things will come to you. Possibilities and options will come to you. And you will have success, and a lot of success. And you will enjoy them. And so it might require you to redefine success, because maybe, right now, your definition of success really lies in the things that you hold of value right now. So maybe it's the money, maybe it's just doing things logically, maybe it's having a nice house, a nice car, nice clothes. You've got all these things, but there are these two cards that really stand out about emotion and love and kind of this deeper connection that might not be currently defined as success. It might be seen as this like external thing that exists outside of your current success. And so I think a big piece of what you'll need to do is redefine how you see success, because ultimately there's a lot of opportunity here, and although it'll be full of difficult choices, you can get to the life that you've always dreamed of. You can successfully do that. Okay, pile number 2. I'm just going to quickly do a pull from the Four Agreements deck, and this will give you a little bit of advice on, okay, those are the cards. A little advice on how to get to the life that you've always dreamed of. Oh, it's 3, okay. So 3 instead. And so I'll read through quickly each one. The first is, don't make assumptions. Eliminate gossip. Making assumptions is a setup for suffering, because usually we gossip about our assumptions. We make assumptions and believe we are right. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make others wrong. Always do your best. Stay in the present moment. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. And your last card is always do your best. Take your life and enjoy it. You are alive, so take your life and enjoy it. You are born with the right to be happy, to love, and to share your love. Just to take a risk and enjoy your life is all that matters. Thank you, pile number 2. If you liked your reading as well as these 3 oracle cards, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Let me know if this reading resonated with you. Let me know if you have other questions that you're curious about or any feedback from me. Thanks so much. Bye. Welcome back. Pile number 3. This is your reading on getting to the life that you've always dreamed of. If you like this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe below, and let's get right into it. So I pulled 10 cards for this reading on getting to the life you've always dreamed of. And the first we're going to start with is the Ace of Wands. This represents your current situation and where you're at with life. And right now, you've got an idea. You've got an idea that's still a seedling, okay? It's still growing. It's still sprouting. Seeds are picking up in the wind. And it's still mostly in an idea phase. So this is not something necessarily that you are, that's fully taken force. And so this could represent an idea, and that idea could translate to either a career or a family or a friendship or anything of that nature. But there's something right now that you're holding on to that is going to grow into something beautiful. And you've got the seedling here that you're ready to plant and to watch grow. You've also got all the sun and all the conditions to help that to grow and to exist and to be well. Then you have the 5 of Wands that represents the challenges that you're facing getting to the life that you want. And honestly, there's just a lot of chaos. There's a lot of chaos, and you are doing a lot of fighting. You're having a lot of tense conversation and tense interactions with different people. And for whatever reason, this is taking up a lot of your energy and a lot of your focus. And so you're not, nurturing and growing this Ace of Wands as much as you could be if you did not also spend a lot of time in the chaos. And it's not just the energy that's required to fight with other people, but it's also the emotional toll that it takes on you. So if you are all day in a tense situation with tense people, by the time you get home, you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired, and you might not be able to grow this little seedling. So whether it is this idea about creating a family or new friendships or starting a new hobby or just getting to a peaceful state of life or getting into a new career, a new job, a side hustle, all of these things will be more challenging to accomplish. That all these things that you're thinking about, and it might be all of those things, like as you're building and trying to get to your dream life, part of what might be stopping you is all the chaos and tension and stress and fighting that's happening right now. And really on all forces, on all accounts. It doesn't seem to just be happening in one place, but in like multiple places, at home, at work, with friends, etc. And it's really going to drain you mentally, emotionally, and physically. And it's going to make it more challenging for you to accomplish the dream life that you've always wanted. Then we have the 7 of Wands. And this represents your past, where you've had these kind of, ideas in the past. And maybe you've just planted too many. So you have, in a sense, already, you have a strong sense of exactly what you want your dream life to look like and exactly how to get there and a plan and a pathway to do that. And you've already tried planting those seeds in the past, and they didn't quite grow to fruition. And you were very, You were very rigorous about pursuing it. You were very staunch, and you consistently did what you thought you needed to do in order to help those dreams and seeds to grow. But ultimately, it was not appropriate conditions. It just wasn't appropriate conditions. So what you think is necessary to get to your dream life, you might want to start revisiting and rethinking that. Really sitting down and asking yourself, what is my dream life that I want to have, and what are all the ways to get there? So maybe right now you have a set idea about what it takes to get there. Take a moment and think about what are all the possible ways of getting there. Because if you do that, what will happen in the future is that you will be on your Kings of Swords. And really what this card tells me is that in the future, you're going to be really smart about things. So before, in the past, your disposition was kind of this staunch, way of dealing with things, very strict and, obedient ways of trying to grow these aspects of your life that will help you get to your dream life. But in the future, this king is intelligent, concerned with the truth, of ethics and honesty, and you'll be bringing a certain level of authority that's guided by something other than how you thought things were supposed to play out. And this is wise. This is a way to do it. You're going to be grounded, and the new approach that you decide to take to get to your dreams, it's going to work out really, really, really well for you. But you don't want to be so concerned with knowledge and solving problems that you are not compassionate. So that's still a thing that you'll be dealing with, like compassion and understanding and empathy, and just understanding that there are multiple ways of getting to where you want to go, and you need to revisit to a different way. You need to make that connection, and that needs to happen. Then you have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands, you see this person who's on a horse holding a wand with a little wreath. I love that wreath. And there are people who are traveling with this person holding the other wands as well. And you still have the growth and all of the imagery on top of the sticks. Again, something I always notice and always love. And this is you leading your people, right? You are leading the way. All the resources, all the people, the team, etc., that you will need to get to your dream life. This is what you want. You want to be a leader. You want to be in charge. You want your people to love you. You want the people to follow your lead. So whether it's, leading a family or a company or a team, anything like that, you want to actively play that role. And you want to win. You don't want to just be any leader. You want to be an effective leader. You want to be a leader that is claiming victories. And this imagery shows that you are, moving forward after kind of collecting lots and lots of victories. You've got this number 1, and you're going for number 2 with your team. And so that's something super important as you're thinking about what it is that you want for your dream life. You want to win. You want to win, and there's nothing wrong with winning. You want to be successful. You want to enjoy your moments, and you want to feel good about it. You want the status. You want the reputation. You want to be recognized as someone who wins and that is a really successful leader. And so this has a lot to do with the dream life that you want to get to. And so it's really important to definitely think about how all of these cards are connected, right? So you want to be loved by everyone, but some tensions with that is when we go back to the King of Swords and lacking empathy and compassion for different people. Those are going to be really important things to pick up on and to build, especially as you are trying to get to this ultimate goal of being this leader. And also remembering that it's important to also consider the different ways to get to your ultimate goal and dream. Again, the Seven of Wands really indicates that, you know, currently you're believing that there's a certain way to be able to do it, and there's more than one way that you can do it. Then you have your Ace of Cups. Such a beautiful image, because you've got, you know, this hand of the universe offering you a cup that is truly overflowing. There's abundance, and there's so much for you. And so subconsciously, this represents all of your emotions, okay, and your thought patterns and behavioral patterns. It is something, you're coming from a place of love, okay? The dream life that you want is not based, I mean, yeah, you want to be known as a winner and you want to win, but also what you want to win at comes from a place of love. What you want to accomplish comes from a place of possibility and joy and just happiness, etc. And unending, you know, care. For whatever reason, this does not get translated as well, but it's there, right? It's there, and I see that you want people to see that in you and to follow your lead. And so it looks like you should be in that leadership role. So this is a little bit of confirmation as well, because you are coming from the right place. Okay, you have all the right things at the center of your being, of your wisdom, of your heart, etc. You have so much to offer, and you have so much that you can also receive. And so I just think that that's going to be really incredible once you figure it out, you know, the other possible ways of getting to your dream life. It should translate. It should definitely translate. So much heart, so much abundance, so much, you know, resources and nurturing that you have to give and to offer other people to help get to that dream life. Whatever it is that you're dreaming about doing, you have so much that people don't realize that makes you perfect for that. And so you got to figure out a way of translating that. Then we have the Queen of Cups. And a big thing that we want to keep in mind when it comes to the Queen of Cups is that you have someone who's kind of, and if you think about it, there's like a few, you know, a little bit of a water theme here, right? Because you have this person looking kind of off into the water and also looking at the cup, and, you know, in some ways kind of comforting the maybe herself or their self as they're holding this cup. This cup represents advice for you as you are on your pathway to get to the dream life that you want for yourself, okay? So it's really calming and comforting all of these emotions, right? So this is going to be really an internal, not struggle, an internal development issue where you're developing yourself internally. And you will definitely need to calm and comfort yourself, especially as we have all the chaos is happening. So let's not forget about this, that a lot of this is contextualized by so much chaos and so much tension. And I don't know if the tension is coming from the fact that you think there's only one way to do things, that you're not exactly compassionate just quite yet, but also you have the right heart and mind as you're trying to get there. But there needs to be a sense of calmness. There needs to be a sense of you know, ability to just kind of feel the water, to just kind of feel, to observe it, even to observe it accurately. So looking at not just what's in your cup, looking at not just like the ocean or the situation that you're in, but focusing on what's in your cup. What do you have in this cup to give, right? So these two cards are directly connected. You got a person here who's looking into their cup, and this cup is overflowing with so many things to give to so many people, but often misinterpreted. You gotta focus on what's in your cup. And because you're going to be a leader, because in some ways you hold a responsibility for what the things that are in this cup, you really have to be careful with it. You have to, you know, think about when to use it, when not to use it, how to make it known, how to pour into other people's cups. Despite there being an ocean of water, there's still something special in this cup. And when this cup overflows, it contributes to this larger ocean. So there's definitely, you know, a need to focus on your intuition and try your best to kind of stay on solid ground, and to figure out what you have to give compared to all the things that are already out there. Searching within yourself, finding your own wealth of creativity or inspiration, all of those things, okay? You want to be creative, and you want to think about your cup, specifically your cup. So not other people's cup, your cup, because there's so much in there for you, for yourself, and for others to help you reach the dream life that you've always dreamed of, okay? So that kind of represents the advice or goals, not goals, advice and recommendations for like how to get there. Then we have the Five of Pentacles here, and the Five of Pentacles really shows that this is your community, and it shows that they will humble you. So you want to get a slice of humble pie, and that's okay, because we all need that sometimes. But this idea about wanting to be the leader and not quite listening or being compassionate, etc., people will humble you real quick, so get ready for that. It's probably not going to feel good, but you probably need to hear it. So that's that on that, okay? Then you have the Ace of Swords, and that's this card right here. And this card really represents your hopes and all of your fears, okay? And so with the Ace of Swords, it's basically helping you to feel as though you have what it takes to achieve your dream life. But a big part of how you'll get there has to do with some other spiritual influences and forces. So this is outer worldly. This is gonna come from the time you spend looking at your own cup. This is gonna come from, stepping away from the chaos. This is gonna come from going back to this idea that you have that you know can grow, and really being given the tools to do that. So if you look, Ace of Wands, excuse me, Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups. We got 3 aces here. Okay, so let that sink in. But again, this is really going to be, I think, for you thinking that this is going to be a really difficult path that you'll have to take, and that you feel like you can only do it with divine intervention, with spiritual help and spiritual guidance, and that this might be really challenging, and that's like a big fear of yours, getting to this dream life. Like, not quite impossible, but could only happen if there was like a lot of assistance from, the universe, from the divine, from God, etc. And that there's a lot of fear around that. And also that it's gonna be a fight. And I would say that probably a lot of that comes from being in a constant state of chaos, and that perhaps you've never quite had anything easy. And so, of course, you're thinking, this is gonna be like a whole thing. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna require complications. It's gonna require difficulties. I feel like that's what's coming up in terms of really your fears, and that you're hoping you can just navigate those things. And so the last card, though, which gives clarity to the fears, it gives clarity to this entire reading, because this last card is focused on your outcomes. And your outcome is the Hanged One. And what ultimately this indicates to me is that you can get to peace, and you can get to clarity and enlightenment as you see this kind of light around this individual's head. It's like you can get to all of that. You can get to clarity. You can get to being in a state of peace, of balance, and connection with the earth and with the trees, which is super important for you as well. And just being comfortable and playful and relaxed. This is just like a very different positioning compared to your Five of Wands, your Seven of Wands, your King of Swords, right? It's a little bit more playful, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more at ease, willing to try new things, right? This person is upside down. They're not even right side up. They're cross-legged. They're more casual in their attire. Everywhere else you have like suits and dresses and, just a lot more formal wear, except for here in terms of where you want to be in terms of leadership. But this person is a lot more casual, able to relax a little bit and slow down. There's some motion here, but it's not your standard motion. This person's not sitting down, they're not moving forward per se, but they're climbing up trees, and they're moving down, and they're swaying left to right, and they're seeing life from a whole new perspective, and they are entertaining all of these different thoughts and ideas. And yeah, they're enlightened and enjoying it. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So this is going to be the outcome. And so I think that ultimately, this journey between these 10 cards, you start with this Ace of Wands and kind of this light that's traveling through the cards, right? And then you see this light again come up with this Ace of Cups, right? So you have this idea, this thing that you want for your dream life. Here you have it coming into fruition. There's an abundance of it. It guides you. This is it. So much love, so much energy and passion. And you need to focus on that. You will be humbled. You might think it's hard to really grow that and to move that from this idea down into you, inside of you, being a part of you. But you will get there. You will get there. You'll see the light around this person's head. So thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you liked the reading, please like, comment, and subscribe below. If you have any recommendations or any questions you'd like to ask, please do so below. Thank you so much, and have a great day. So one more thing I wanted to do, pile number 3, before we moved on, is to grab a oracle card for you, something to help you think about how to get to the dream life you've always wanted. So this is just some advice. This is based off of the 4 agreements, and I'm just gonna pull, these are your cards, 2 cards for you, and talk a little bit about them. So the first is, if I can get it up here, don't take anything personally. Transform your life. When you refuse to take things personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your feelings of anger, jealousy, and even your sadness will simply disappear if you don't take things personally. So this is your first card. And then your second card, group number 3, is always do your best. Take action on your ideas. Very related to your reading. Doing your best means to take action. You can have many great ideas in your head, but without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no results, and no rewards. All right, thanks so much, pile number 3. If you like this reading and these 2 cards from the 4 agreements deck, please like, subscribe, and comment below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. All right, pile number 4, last but certainly not least. Welcome to your reading on getting to the life that you've always dreamed of. Right off the bat, I can say this deck has a lot of good energy. There's a lot of things happening, good energy, but challenges as well, things that can definitely be overcome. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. Please remember, if you like this reading, to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions or recommendations on things that I could do differently, also leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear more from you and talk to you more about the reading. Okay, so with that said, let's jump right on into it. So starting off, we have the High Priestess. This is a boss person currently using everything they've got to make it work, okay? They are making it happen, and also some way in mysterious ways. So the High Priestess knows the path toward them, okay? She sits on her throne. She's got her laptop with unlimited knowledge and wisdom. There's a veil of these pomegranate fruit behind her. And yeah, the question is, what's behind this veil? There's also some balance between this black and white pillar And she is still. She's put together and she is focused and working. So sometimes the greatest power comes in knowing that you do not know anything. Okay, so this is where you currently are. You might not have a clue about your greatest life that you've always dreamed of. You might not have a clue about what you want or feel like you need to know more about yourself or to learn more about yourself, and to grow and to explore your self-conscious and to your subconscious, to explore all the different ways that you feel and think about things. For you right now, you're in this period of exploration, of making do with the things that you have, but there's more. There's more that you're trying to uncover, that you essentially want to lift the veil with. And so you should be focusing on doing that. And then if you also look, there's also a crescent moon down here. And that crescent moon really just shows kind of like being in the night, right? Trying to figure out what it is that you want and how to get there. But the good news about the balance that shows up between that black and white pillar is that even with the crescent moon, there will come a sun. And what's interesting about that is there is a sun card right down here, in your hopes, in your fears position. So that would be really interesting to explore. So let's move on to the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is really about treating yourself. You have this person who's sitting on a bench, legs crossed, looking pretty relaxed with a slight smile, an abundance of things up here that are clearly excellent. They're things that are not as easy to get to. They're relegated as being like higher things of life. So whether that is like a massage or some kind of treat, maybe it's like really good food or a trip or something like that, you are not right now allowing yourself to enjoy those finer things of life, those things that are elevated. That's not your everyday humdrum treat. A challenge that you're facing right now is exploring those nicer things, finer things of life, focusing on you and your care and the things that you need to keep your spirit going, okay? And so while it's okay to be in a space of exploration and coming to know things, in order to really do that even better and really well, is to allow yourself to explore, but also give yourself some treats. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to have figured everything out before you can enjoy some things. So it seems like right now you're withholding, some joy and some, some of the treats and finer things of life, so that until you are able to kind of figure this thing out, but really you deserve a treat now. And it will help you ultimately to get to this life that you want and would like to enjoy. So that's what I would say for you. Then you have the Devil, and in the Devil, it's not inherently evil. So whenever you see this, it's not necessarily, condemning, etc. But this does represent your past. And in the past, it seems like you had like a lot of really unhealthy habits that were not so good for you, that chained you down, that kept you in a cycle, maybe even with people that, allowed you to repeat this kind of poor or bad cycle. You perhaps were thinking that there was some kind of wealth or power or pleasure that you really wanted, but it really came out of some devil-like energy. And it didn't give you freedom. It gave you chains. So in the past, these aspects of life that you thought were going to help free you really just change you and had you so focused maybe like on money or on pleasure or things of that nature, or just tied in with people who just weren't healthy for you and weren't good for you. So that represents your past. But when we talk about your future, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is basically a path that never quite stops. It's always moving forward, and it is all of the cycles of life, the ups and downs, etc. And sometimes things can happen. It might really not make sense, or it might feel like it's unfair, but you're at the top. And you can also be at the bottom. And so, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty, but with uncertainty, there's also lots of possibility. Okay, so you can get just pure luck, just being in the right place at the right time, or it could go the other way, where you are at the bottom of things are not going well. So your future could really go either way. And so we're going to keep reading cards to help you figure out what will determine whether you end up at the top or at the bottom when it comes to getting to the dream life that you've always wanted. So we definitely want to focus on getting to the top. That's where we want the future. So then you have Judgment, and this card really represents your goals and aspirations, or like what you want in life as you're thinking about what it means to be living the life that you've always dreamed of. So you have Judgment. And if you look, then you have a person who's kind of in the sky offering salvation, right? When I see this flag here, to me it means salvation, and you have people who are wanting to receive it. And so you could either be the person who is being saved or the person who is doing the saving. So while you are trying to figure out what to do, and right now things might seem a little bit mysterious, for some of you and who is receiving this reading, you are going, part of your hopes and dreams are to save others, to provide some kind of salvation to others, some kind of help, some assistance, being a good Samaritan. And whether that is support, whether that is financial support, whether that's love, understanding, being an ear to even listen to and that people will even care about. It's providing that to people who are asking for it and need it and would love to have it, and it allows them to get a new sense of their own lives and a new outlook on life. And on the other hand, for some of you, you will be in need of that grace and salvation, and you will be looking forward to it. And so what's really interesting is that maybe, and not knowing like your pathway forward and exactly like what to do, etc., you might just be wanting to catch a break. Like you just might want a break, whether that is like any kind of love, tough love, you know, easy going, carefree love, you know, assistance, whatever it is. I see a big goal is just being loved and letting it be a little bit more easy. Letting it be a little bit more easy, a little bit more free going. Like if you need something, if you ask for something, you just get it. You just get it. That it not be complicated, that it not be a whole mystery and puzzle to figure out and to find out, but you should just ask and receive. I see that as a big part of your goal and aspiration in terms of what you want. And then we have the star, which is not the only star in this reading because we've also got the sun here. But the star really represents turning darkness into light. It's an abundance of so many different things, and this star represents your emotions and patterns. So it's making the most out of where you are. I think part of what's interesting about this reading is that there's a lot of emotional kind of paralyzation, like maybe feeling paralyzed, and a big part of your emotions and your patterns, your thought patterns, is really just staying at peace, continuing to keep yourself well, trying to pour into yourself, and to water your garden, trying to stay optimistic and positive, and you know, making the best out of a situation. And you're doing that really well, and that's what your emotions are focused on for right now. Then you have Temperance. And temperance is really a focus of balance, right? So you have a person who's pouring from one cup into another cup. They've got on wings and a rainbow shirt, and part of their foot is in the water, the other foot is touching land. There's so much about balance in this card. And you see a lot of sun and happiness kind of with these sunflowers and lots of vegetation. And so the balance that's required to grow all of these things, this represents the advice that's coming to you about how to get the life you've always dreamed of. Is that temperance is what you need. you need to pull in some balance, okay? You need to indulge in yourself. You need to treat yourself a little bit. And you need to get some balance so that you can be on top of this wheel of fortune and not at the bottom. It feels like if you're not able to accomplish this, this is one of the reasons why you will end up on the bottom when it comes to your future and getting the life that you've always dreamed of, okay? You'll have to work to find balance in all aspects of your life, okay? And it's good that you're already coming from a place of optimism and positivity and, you know, hope. So hold on to that, keep that, because that can help you get balance. And this is also something to focus on. So as you're trying to figure out the things that you don't know, or exactly how your life is supposed to play out, or what your dream even is, one thing that you can focus on right now is your temperance, your balance. And then you'll have that easeful feeling that's also connected to judgment. And just letting things be easy going and not complicated. All right, so then we have the Magician. This represents your community or your external influences. And really, your community, it's time to turn some dreams into reality, okay? This is time to pull in from the magic of your community, the resources of your community. The people around you can help you to make your dreams happen. Talk to them, talk to trusted people in your community who can help you, help guide you, your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, etc. To help make those possibilities and things that you're uncertain about a reality. So whether it's exploring a particular career path, talk to people who are on that path to see more from a first-hand account if it's for you. Talk to multiple people. If it's about a family, trying to decide if you want children or not, or how many children, trying to decide what your hobbies are, you know, if you want to get a life, what does having a life even mean, right? Look at the people in your community, learn from them, and learn about the steps that they took to make it a reality. Maybe you always wanted to be a fly girl, you always want to be an influencer or whatever, or you just want to feel confident, you just want your dream life is you being ultimately happy. Look to the people in your community and look to what their dreams were and what they did to actually bring those dreams into fruition, okay? And then you have the lovely Sun card. The Sun is your hopes, or the Sun card represents your hopes and your fears. And if you look at it, this is one of the best cards to have. And there's so much positivity in it. It's the first thing that my eye was drawn to when I pulled these cards. And your hope is that you will figure it out. You will figure it out and it will feel really good. It seems like the overall goal of this reading is to get to happiness. Part of, you know, living your greatest life and the life you've always dreamed of is just happiness. It's being in the sun. It's waving your flag for whatever your cause is, or job is, or whatever the thing is that you want to share with the world. It's waving that back and forth and being very clear about it and just sharing that with the world. And just really basking in it under the sun, feeling it kissing all over you. That's such an important aspect of what you are hoping to achieve as you get to your life that you've always imagined for yourself. And finally, we have an outcome card. The outcome card is a Four of Cups card. And essentially what this card indicates is that you'll see on the person's shirt, over it. Can you see that? This person is over it. Life can be disappointing and imperfect, and there can be moments of unhappiness. And this is definitely a space that you'll be heading in. So it seems like this is very much connected to this Wheel of Fortune, that you will end up on the bottom and not the top. But that doesn't mean that this is set in stone and that you cannot break that cycle, because you definitely can. You could possibly end up cynical and feeling like everything is going against you, and it could be like a really negative experience, full of regret and things that are just not healthy, and it doesn't feel good. Like this is the outcome for your reading. And I think this is why really focusing on balance matters, because positivity without action could easily lead to this feeling of despair. Being super positive, doing all the right things, being so optimistic, but not taking action can certainly lead to this feeling of despair. And when you're being so optimistic and you want to be in the sun, and you know, you want to be on top of this wheel of fortune, and you're just looking for salvation, for some of you it will lead to despair. You need to take action. Positive thinking will not be enough. And so essentially what you're going to have to do is turn this wheel of fortune. For those of you who feel like what resonated the most is that you're at the bottom of this wheel and you're coming to this space of despair, despite being super positive, but you know, not really have a strong sense of where you're going, is that you will have to actively turn this wheel of fortune. And that will take work. It's not going to be necessarily easy. It's gonna take work, more work than what you're used to. And in order to do that, you must engage in self-care, because it's not gonna feel good. It's going to be uncomfortable. Anytime that we are asked to grow, sometimes growing hurts. That's why they call it growing pains. So really, one thing that I would love to impress upon you, for those who feel like they're at the bottom of this wheel, is that, let me pull one more card. Because I want to be clear about what you should do specifically. Seven of Swords. Fight. Okay. Fight to get this wheel turned around. This is not going to be necessarily easy. You might have to leave some things behind. Take what works for you, leave behind what doesn't, but ultimately fight. Fight for it. You can overcome, and you can get to where you want to go. You can get to your dream life, even if you don't know where you're going, right? Take action, even if you don't know where you're going. Even if you're looking back at your life, at your current state, even if you know what you're taking and what you're leaving behind, but you don't know where you're going, you're still trying to figure it out. Fight for it and take action, even if you don't know where you're going. Let me make sure you can see this card. Okay. That's really important. And then if you happen to be at the top of this wheel, because again, this card represents your future, and so some of you, like I mentioned, will find yourselves at the bottom, and some of you it will resonate more that you're at the top. Not what you hope, because you're being optimistic, but what resonates, what feels actually true and right. For those of you who will end up at the top, what's important is sometimes, even if you do end up at the top, you can still be dealing with some disappointment, because maybe the things that you wanted are not in alignment with the things that make you happy. And in this case, you might have thought that you were looking for something that, you know, that you received aid, you know, that where you received some sense of comfort, etc. But really, it might be that you are the one giving it to others. You might have overlooked your own talents, your own skills, the things that you have to offer to give to other people. And so you might find that you're at the top, you made it to the top, and you know, you want it to feel amazing and great, but what you realize is that it might not have been quite what you wanted, and that's okay, because you can just change it. This Seven of Swords is not for you. You can just change it. Okay, this is the beauty about having balance, and this is the beauty about it being independent and being able to lift the veil, etc. You're gonna get behind that veil, and it might not be what you like, but you, with all the skills, with the pampering, with treating yourself, not tying things up to, you know, having accomplished certain things and like knowing the pathway forward, etc. You can change it. So what will likely happen is, in this case, you will get to the life that you've dreamed of, and you'll need a new dream, because it turns out it's not quite what you actually wanted. It's not quite what will make you happy. And because you're in tune with the balance of life and with taking really good care of yourself, okay? And, you know, having the support of your community who is able to give you guidance, and being able to keep a clear mind and a well-guarded mind that's full of positivity and optimism and abundance and light coming into from the darkness, from the nighttime into the sun. You might just need to get a new dream once you get there. So in some ways, don't let this be your end-all be-all. And in fact, it might be another manifestation of some of this devil energy in the past. Maybe not the exact same way that things happened before, but the thing that you've dreamed of, the life you've always dreamed of, is not what doesn't actually end up being what you want. And so you will start a new path in which you will have a new dream that you pursue. So let me go ahead and pull 2 cards from the For Agreements deck. Okay, I feel like this and this one. Okay, so your 2 cards are always do your best, honor yourself. So salient for this, especially if you don't have like a pathway forward of exactly what you're supposed to do. Honor the man or woman or person that you are. Take the risk to express your dream. Taking action is about living fully and expressing what you are. What you are. And the last card is don't make assumptions. Be aware of unconscious assumptions. Assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. So be aware of unconscious assumptions. I hope that you enjoyed today's reading. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, as I am on my journey to fulfilling one of my own dreams, which is having my own YouTube channel, and more importantly, doing readings that resonate and actually give guidance and insight to people at particular times of their lives that are useful and helpful, and just a little bit of insight to help make decisions. Of course, always trust yourself and your own gut, but I'm so appreciative of you spending some time with me today. So thanks again. If you have any suggestions or things that types of questions you might want me to ask in the future, just let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Bye.